The night before my wedding, I thought I'd be alone in my Chicago hotel room, nerves raw, maybe scribbling vows. Instead, 3 men knocked on my door, sent by my fiancé, Tom. I said yes and never looked back. If you're here, hit like and subscribe. It keeps these stories alive. New welcome. Stick around. Let's get started. I was sprawled on the bed, the room too quiet, too empty, despite the dress hanging in the corner, the ring on the table, the vows half written. Sleep wouldn't come. Tomorrow, I'd walk down the aisle and swear my life to Tom. But his voice kept echoing in my head. We won't be some dull couple, Nora. I'd laughed when he said it. Now, staring at the ceiling, my heart twisted, caught between love and a creeping doubt. Could we keep the fire alive forever before Tom? My life was electric wild nights, reckless adventures, freedom that burned. With the wedding looming, I felt like I was standing on a cliff. No way back. Was I ready to leave that spark behind? A knock at the door snapped me out of it. I opened it without thinking. 3 men stood there. One, Vince, had a sleeve of tattoos snaking up his arm, ink dark as sin. Another, Ray, older, 37 gray beard, eyes that didn't blink, like he'd seen everything and forgotten nothing. The third, Cole, broad-shouldered, tall enough to block the hallway light, a quiet storm waiting to break. No one spoke. Vince handed me a small envelope, my name scrawled in Tom's handwriting. I tore it open. You said you're scared of boring. This is your answer. Have fun tonight. I'll see you at the altar. Your future husband. We're here for you, Vince said, calm, certain, like the words were a contract sealed in blood. I didn't ask what he meant. I knew. I stepped aside. They walked in, silent. No glances between them, just the soft thud of boots on carpet and the heavy, unspoken hunger filling the room. I shut the door. The click of the lock hit like a gunshot. My pulse pounded. The note clutched in my hand like it could tell me what to do. It didn't. I turned to face them, trying to catch my breath. You guys local? Or did Tom drag you in? I asked, voice steadier than I felt. Ray's eyes met mine, unyielding. No need for small talk, he said, low, like he was cutting through the noise in my head. I gave a nervous laugh, not backing down. Then I walked past them, deliberate, no hesitation, like I was stepping into a fire I'd already chosen. As I moved, a hand grazed my waist. Another brushed the inside of my arm. Fingers lingered, slow, learning me, like they were mapping every inch they'd claim. My robe loosened under their touch, slipping down my shoulders, pooling at my ankles, a silent surrender I didn't fight. Someone moved behind me, lips brushing my neck, soft as a whisper but heavy as a promise. A hand slid from my hip to my chest, warm, deliberate, fingers spreading wide. Another mouth found me, patient, searching. I leaned into it. They weren't holding back anymore, and neither was I. Their touches grew bolder, hungrier, each one a spark that fed the fire in my gut. A hand guided my head, gentle but firm, pulling me lower. I followed. They shed their shirts, fabric sliding over skin, revealing tattoos, muscle, tension. Their hands moved with a purpose. No rush, but alive, like they were unwrapping something they'd been denied too long. I stepped forward, took over, unbuckling belts, tugging zippers, letting their clothes hit the floor. My hands moved steady, sure. No trace of the woman who'd been trembling minutes ago. No one spoke. I leaned toward Vince, my lips finding him, deliberate, setting a rhythm that was mine alone. My hands reached for the others, stroking, circling, holding tight. I shifted to Ray, his hand steadying my head, guiding me as I matched his pace, his breath catching, a sound that sent a shiver through me. Cole waited longest, his chest rising slow, heavy. When I turned to him, my lips closed around him, and his fingers grazed my jaw, hesitant at first, then tightening, like he was claiming something he'd only dreamed of. They stood around me, a storm circling, heat rising from every side. But they let me move how I wanted. Hands wove into my hair, steadied my shoulders, kept me grounded as I pushed forward. When my knees ached, Vince knelt, lifting me to the bed, handling me like I was fragile but his to take. He laid me on the sheets, and the weight of his gaze pinned me as much as his hands. Ray knelt between my legs, his mouth lowering, slow, focused, exploring every curve like he was worshiping at an altar. He adjusted my hips, pulling me closer, his breath warm, deliberate, reverent. Cole climbed beside me, his lips finding mine, and I took him in, my hands gripping his hips, matching his rhythm. Vince stayed near my chest, his mouth tracing my curves, tongue circling slow, teeth grazing just enough to make me gasp. I was surrounded, pulled every direction at once. Ray rose, his face focused, eyes locking on mine. He shifted forward, aligning with me, hovering. For a second, I forgot how to breathe. I arched, open, arms spread, lips parted. Ray moved beneath me, steady, relentless. Cole stayed near my mouth, Vince's hands and lips roaming my chest. Too much, not enough. A current I couldn't escape. Each thrust from Ray sent a jolt through me. Cole groaned low, his fingers tightening in my hair. They moved like one, a rhythm that used me without rushing, without stopping. I moaned against Cole, couldn't help it. My hands slid over thighs, skin, sheets. Grasping for balance I didn't want. I wanted more. And they gave it. Cole pulled back first, stroking my cheek, then moved between my legs as Ray eased away. Their eyes met over me, no words. Cole took his place, his body pressing into mine. Heavier. Slower at first, then urgent, like he was chasing something he'd lost. I shifted, my legs instinctively wrapping him, holding him there. His rhythm was raw, hungry, each move pulling a reaction I couldn't hide. His breath came fast, uneven, each sound from his throat chilling my spine. Vince moved lower, his hands at my waist, mouth gliding over my ribs, my stomach, stoking the fire until I was chasing it, too. Ray lay beside me, arms spread. They guided me over him. I sank into him, his warmth and tension pulling me in like a tide. I found a rhythm, slow, then fierce. He met me from below, hands gripping my waist, eyes burning into mine like nothing else existed. Then Vince was behind me, his hand sliding along my lower back, pulling me forward with a touch that promised more. Cole stood on the bed, close, within reach. My lips found him again, instinct taking over as I moved with him. Vince positioned himself behind me, pausing, then pressing forward, slow, deliberate, a pressure that built until it consumed me. I gasped against Cole, my fingers digging into his thighs. I was pulled every direction, my body moving without thought, my mind gone. The motion surrounded me, rising, falling, a storm I couldn't outrun. I couldn't speak, Could barely breathe. All I could do was let it happen. When the pressure broke, I didn't hold it back. It wasn't falling, it was surrender. I collapsed, breathless, sheets tangled around me like vines. Tomorrow, I'd say I do. Tom promised it wouldn't be boring. He was right. Be honest, does this marriage stand a chance? Or did it end the moment I opened that door? Tell me in the comments. I'm reading, like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. Thanks for watching.